I also can prophesize the future, and I also can see subliminal messaging.
Okay, I'll tell you what, Miss Pillberry's slow, girl. Now, I'm
What, really? I'm pretty sure I could truck the shit out of you, you fucking overgrown baby.
Dude, whatever you're smoking, buy a ton of it.
I'm the greatest spectacle on the fucking face of the earth right now.
Possibility of women playing in the league, I don't think it's impossible.
You fucking punk-ass bitch!
Jesus Christ, that hurt. I'm still gonna
I'm fucking real, bro. You shit.
Well, this is smacking off. If you don't like it, change your diaper and leave.
Don't be ridiculous right now, okay?
I'd rather watch softcore porn than have to watch all of that.
No, that's how you make open. And then from there, you gotta cross it.
Bro, who invited this dude, bro? What the fuck? Get this dude out of here, bro.
No, USC is far better than Oklahoma historically.
Your meatloaf is moist as my pussy gets. I promise you that.
Oh shit, this has turned into King Arthur's drug class.
They need you back at the cash register in 5 minutes.
Well, Ticky's like Pike minus the entertainment value.
Smack off. Smacking Off the podcast is starting in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Smacking Off the podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. I'm joined with Doug Phillips, co-host and producer, sitting across from me. What is up?
Not much.
Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart, for real. That's Jimmy Hart.
Whatever happened to him? Is he still alive?
I think he is.
We need to get him on the show because he's got some tales.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Jimmy Hart knows.
Bobby Heenan's still alive. You ever seen him? Have you seen him lately?
No.
You don't want to.
He's an old dude.
It ain't just an old dude. He looks like...
Well, he's old as shit. He's got to be like, what, 80-something now?
I don't know. He looks like death warmed over, though.
Yeah.
I've seen 80-year-olds that don't look like death warmed over.
Well, I mean, you know, working in the WWF and some of the trappings on the road, I guess you could say, some of the party favors and whatnot, that takes a toll on you after a while.
Yep. Well, right out of the gate, we don't even have to call anybody. We've already got...
Yeah, we're already set up. We're ready to go. We're prepared tonight. Got the game on. We're watching Navy in Memphis.
Yep.
Navy's actually doing good on the road right now. Got the ball in the red zone right now.
Yep.
Oh.
Sean, are you watching Navy?
No, not yet. No, I'm not.
Well, we'll bring you up to date. We'll bring you up to. Oh, you driving?
No, I'm at the office.
Okay. Well, it's 13-7, so Navy winning on the road right now.
I think Memphis will ultimately take care of that.
Are you allowed to watch games at the office? Can you pull the game up and kind of put it over in the corner of your computer? Or is that a no-no?
No, we got firewalls, so I can't get there.
Boo. Yeah, that's the man trying to keep you down. Trying to keep you.
We have TV, but they've locked out the sports channels as well. So that's really
you can still pull it up on your phone. That's what I did the other day. I actually last Saturday because I was pressed for time and didn't really have time to properly prepare for the Sunday show because I had so much going on Saturday. So I got like a 1 hour window where I went ahead and set up every device that I had in the house, and I had a different football game on it.
Outstanding.
And, it was amazing.
That's
really
the way
was.
to do it.
Yeah, and I did it actually not through any kind of pay service or this, that, and the other, because that's for suckers. I actually downloaded a couple different apps that, and I'm not going to advertise them now. If you want to know about them, hit me up in PMs. But was watching all the cable channels and even some of the exclusive cable stuff and pulling it up for free.
You know, just kind of reminded me, and I don't want to go into a long conversation here because we got to get him on the road. Yeah. But I was thinking we could monetize this podcast a little bit by getting affiliate accounts and running commercials and running our affiliate address where they go through like to buy sports gear and shit like that. Mm-hmm. So I went to check into it. They want us to have an ID. They want us to have a tax ID number before we do it. Can't just do it with a social security number.
You're making the money.
Well, I mean, chances are we wouldn't make a lot right off the bat, so I don't know why they want you to jump through that hoop, but they do.
Oh, the IRS wants you to jump through that hoop, but that's a whole different show.
Well, anyway. Sean, you want to do your must-see games before you do your picks?
Absolutely. And I know I missed you guys last week. I apologize. Travel issues with flights.
Man, I still ran the the I still ran.
Sorry, that was unintentional.
I still ran the graphics of the games that you would pick, so everybody got to see that anyway.
That's a Freudian slip.
So yeah, I mean at least you hopefully kicked out the Tennessee at Florida game and replaced it. You got that edition, right?
Whatever it is that you had told me when we talked.
Perfect.
Okay.
Because that game was garbage. I got to watch that.
If you're a Florida
Saturday morning.
fan, that was definitely some good TV. But for everybody else, unless you're a Vol hater like, well, Doug and myself, yeah, it was. I don't know. It was bittersweet, though, because we definitely didn't want Tennessee to win that game. But, man, they just looked really, 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 really awful.
I mean, the sad thing is that game is now, that was like, what, a noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central kick. That game used to be a primetime game, and now it's not.
Well, you know, to be fair, Florida didn't really look as great as expected, even with that lopsided of a win. I think that game was more of a testament to how bad Florida really is Tennessee really is right now.
No, I completely agree. But all right, we're back on it. So
let's do it.
Let's jump into Week 5.
Let's do it.
So our just missed Group of 5 games. Arizona State at Cal. I like that game, but it's Friday night, and I have a problem with Friday night games. I'm a traditionalist, so be it. Virginia at Notre Dame. Virginia's going to be game for the first half, but Notre Dame pulls away in the second half. Ole Miss at Alabama. Great rivalry game in the SEC, but Bama's going to trounce the Rebels.
Yep.
Mississippi State at Auburn. I think Auburn's going to handle the lesser Bulldogs.
I agree.
And then UCLA at Arizona. Should be a high-scoring, fun game, even though neither team really matters at this point.
Yep.
Okay, so our number 3 game this week, it's a blue blood battle. Ohio State at Nebraska, and as of yet, Nebraska hasn't turned the corner yet. But I think they're going to be game for this Saturday, and Ohio State hasn't really been challenged just yet. I know they're 4-0 and they're looking great, but Miami of Ohio, Cincinnati, UCLA, Florida Atlantic. Excuse me, not UCLA, Indiana, haven't really, that's not really what you call a test. Nebraska, same thing. I know they got the loss at Colorado. So there's that. Ohio State leads the series 6 wins, no ties, and 1 loss. The 1 loss coming in 2011. Both fairly new coaches, Frost at Nebraska, Day at Ohio State. This should be a great game, but it's probably not going to be. Ohio State is a 17-point favorite going into Lincoln. The over-under is sitting at 66.5, and I expect Ohio State to handle that game and to cover. But I'm looking for Nebraska to show something here, show some sort of signs of life.
I was just thinking about this, and I think I kind of agree with you that Ohio State's going to run them over, but there's something weird in the back of my mind that says that how odd is it going to be if Nebraska pulls the upset? Not really that odd. That kind of shit happens all the time.
Right. I mean, they're definitely going to be ready. This will be a hostile environment for Ohio State. We're going to see how Fields responds to that. So far, he hasn't really had much pressure, and he's performed absolutely amazing. So hopefully Nebraska can make this a game, at least for a little while. Ohio State's a better team on paper. They have more talent at basically every position. But I think if Nebraska can play to their utmost potential, they might be able to make this a game for at least a half, maybe even into the third quarter. So we have something decent to watch. Game,
it sure doesn't look as good as it did in the offseason, though. On paper.
Better yet, this game doesn't look near as good as it did 25 years ago either. So,
true.
Right. 2 programs going in different directions.
True,
certainly.
very true. Ohio State's been relatively consistent during that stretch. It's Nebraska that's got some major catching up to do.
How about that? Go ahead.
No, after you, Doug. Go ahead, please.
How about that game number 2?
Game number 2, which replaced. I replaced. One second. Who did I kick out? I kicked out Iowa State at Baylor because Iowa State lost at Iowa. So that was going to be my original game, too. And this was a game that we kind of didn't see coming, I think, other than maybe Shannon. We have the Penn State Nittany Lions visiting the Maryland Terrapins. Penn State comes in unbeaten. They're number 12 in the country. They had blowout wins over Idaho and Buffalo. They had a dogfight against what we would assume to be probably a middle-of-the-road Pittsburgh team at home. Maryland's all over the board. They crushed Howard. They crushed Syracuse, and then they lost at Temple, that was Shannon, your, I know, upset special a few weeks ago. Penn State comes in the game. They're 6.5-point favorites.
I don't think Shannon actually picked Temple, but he just said, wouldn't it be interesting?
I saying that Temple could surprise and beat Maryland.
Well, yeah, I didn't necessarily pick Temple, but I just kind of pulled it out of thin air.
Alluded.
I pulled it out of thin air and told everybody to watch the game because on paper it looked a lot more interesting than the actual matchup itself, but whatever. And it did.
But this game's huge for the Big Ten East race, particularly for Penn State being unbeaten. If they want to stay in the conversation, not only nationally, but for potentially going to Indianapolis and setting up an unbeaten matchup with Ohio State, which was a hell of a game last year, as you recall. And I think Franklin at Penn State needs to go into that Ohio State game unbeaten. He needs to get the program going because right now he's kind of muddling, and I don't think Penn State fans are quite happy with that. Conversely, Maryland fans are excited. Mike Locks has got them 2-1. They look good. They're scoring points. They're one of the highest scoring teams in the nation. And things haven't been this good at College Park since basically the days of Ralph Friedgen. So I think this one's going to be a high-scoring, fun little game. That's going to be on, where are we at here? It's going to be on, it's a Friday night game. I don't like that. But
FS1.
At 8 p.m. on Fox Sports 1.
This couldn't have even made ESPN. What the fuck? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
ESPN 2, you know what I'm saying? Real quick, though, I have to say this, going back to Franklin just for half a second. Notice that we had an entire conversation as football guys about Penn State and didn't bring up the Sandusky thing. Franklin is a huge, massive part of that. So,
I think it's
Penn State folks need to be very, they're just going to have to ride him out just for a little bit longer because he's done them a favor. He's done them a kindness.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he's doing pretty well on the recruiting trail. He's just one step behind Ohio State. He's ahead of Booger at Ann Arbor. I'll say that. And we're going to find out. Penn State's at Michigan a few weeks from now. If he can get that win in Ann Arbor,
they have to get that win. Yeah, they want to stay in the conversation as bad as Michigan is right now. Come on.
Right, I think they will, but they need to. They absolutely need to. Particularly James Franklin needs it, because how long? Penn State's fan base is still very demanding. How long can he go being mediocre? He can't. He needs some signature wins. I think Penn State will probably get the win at Maryland, but I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a nip-and-tuck game all the way through.
All right. How about your top game of the day?
The game of the week, and really what I think could be a potential Pac-12 title game preview, the USC Trojans are visiting the Washington Huskies. It's going to be a 3:30 Eastern kick. I know there are a lot of games on at that time, but they're the only two, if I'm not mistaken, top 25 teams playing each other this week. Other than, Virginia at Notre Dame is a top 25, but I'm not sold on Virginia. But USC at Washington, this has been a game the last few times they've played. The last meeting came in 2016. USC went up to Seattle and escaped 26-13. Same year, Sam Darnold led them to a Rose Bowl victory. Both coming in with one loss. USC leads the series 51 wins, 29 losses, and 4 ties. But Washington is the better team on paper. They are a 10.5-point favorite at home in Seattle. USC's down to their third starting quarterback now with Keaton Slovis getting injured last week. They're now down to Matt Fink, who at one time thought about transferring this past spring. This is going to be a huge game for both teams to see who's going to get to San Francisco for the Pac-12 championship game. I know Cal is still lurking unbeaten, but I'm not sold, particularly with their performance at Ole Miss last week. So I really think this could be a preview of the Pac-12 title game. I know Oregon's still a pretty good program as well, and Washington will cross that bridge when they get there. But this is going to be an exciting game between two good quarterbacks, Matt Fink and Jacob Eason in Washington. And it's perfect. The weather forecast is a perfect Pacific Northwest forecast. A high of 59 degrees and a forecast of continuous rain all game.
Oh,
so this is going to be a great game.
Sloppy.
And really, both these teams need this game. They both have hard games coming up. The next game for each, Washington goes to Stanford. I know Stanford's down, but whenever you have to go to the Farm, it's tough. And then USC goes to Notre Dame. So this is a big game for both programs, and particularly Clay Helton, who is still on the hot seat, even though the guy's won a Rose Bowl and won a conference championship, which is crazy.
All right. All right, there's your games of the week. And now we're fixing to do your pick'ems, which you're making up for. You took off last week. You were going to be on with Sky.
Again, I apologize.
No problem, man. You're a traveling man.
You guys were right. Athens was a heck of a town.
Yeah, well, we expect that next time this comes up for you to sacrifice your job in order to do this podcast for free. So,
yeah. I try.
God damn it.
All right, we're going to have to make quick work of these picks.
Yes.
All right. We got Arizona State going to Cal, number 15 Cal, that is.
I like Cal. I like the defense. Arizona State's very suspect offense. They barely scored at Michigan State, and they squeaked that one out. I like Cal.
All right. Next, you just talked about this game. Penn State at Maryland, and I believe...
I'm taking Penn State. I like Penn State.
All right. Northwestern at Wisconsin.
Paul Chris got the Badgers rolling. I'm taking the Badgers.
All right. You got Clemson at UNC.
This is an odd game.
I love Mac Brown. He's building something, but he's not ready for Davos, boys. Clemson rolls in this one.
All right.
All right. You've already mentioned this game, and we know how you're going to pick on it, but we'll get the official take on it right here. Ole Miss is going to Alabama.
Hey, Ole Miss is a fun program. Hopefully they can get better. I'd like to see them get better. The Grove, Oxford, great place, but going into Tuscaloosa, Nick Saban and Tua are going to crush the Rebels.
That's the Sean Devine lock of the week.
That is the lock of the week.
All right. You got the Virginia Cavaliers heading over to South Bend to play your Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
This is going to be a nip and tuck game all the way until the fourth quarter. I think Notre Dame's depth takes care of Virginia, but it's close. Virginia is a 12.5-point dog. I think they keep it close. Notre Dame wins by a touchdown. Take the Irish.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game.
All right, and you've already officially said who's going to win this one, but we'll get you to say it again. Ohio State at Nebraska.
You can
I like
say
the Buckeyes.
OSU.
They're too talented. Nebraska hangs for maybe a half, and then Fields and company takes care of business.
Ohio State still owns OSU, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that Oklahoma State didn't get it at the last minute or something on the domain.
No.
All right, we've got Washington State going to Utah to play the Fighting Anastasians.
One, it's on the road, and two, after the devastating defeat the Cougs took to UCLA, I don't see them getting this done. I like the Utes to win this game.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, we got the Battle of the Cal Colleges. Mississippi State at Auburn.
I think Auburn's defense is too much for Mississippi State, and I hope for the Tiger fans' sake that Bo Nix gets it going a little bit here. So far, he's kind of been their Achilles heel, but they're still winning games, and I like the Tigers at home.
I bet you $1 you don't hear a cowbell during that game. I'm serious. There will be a metal detector at every single entrance of that game. There will be no cowbells there. Bet your ass. That's Jordan Hare, baby.
All right.
Need more cowbell, though.
Nah, you won't get none for that game.
Last game, USC at Washington, and you've already picked on that, but remind us.
I'd love USC to win this game. It would definitely help Notre Dame when they come to town if they only had one loss. But Washington at home with the elements, and especially smarting after losing to Cal, which I think maybe they might have even taken a little lightly. I think the Huskies bounce back here. Easton has a day, and we'll say the Huskies win by, we'll say 10.
All right. There you got it. You've heard your must-see games of the week from Sean Devine, and he just gave you his 10 locks of the week. Damn it.
Yeah, Sean Devine gave you so much so much information that there's no reason that you should not be submerged in college football this weekend.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, Sean, we appreciate it.
Gentlemen, enjoy the games, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Sean Devine, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you, buddy.
All right, when we come back, we might have Dane and Shannon Russell on.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go to a commercial.
in and stomach hear this message from old Speedy. Alka-Seltzer, plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. Ah, those Speedy Alka-Seltzer bubbles burst into action to relieve your upset stomach and aching head fast. It's only as directed. Oh, what a relief it is. What a relief.
Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one. Schaefer pleasure doesn't fade even when your thirst is done. The most rewarding flavor in this man's world for people who are having fun. Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one. Oh, yes, Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
Schaefer, the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
What are you listening to? This Remco transistor radio I made myself. Want to listen? Gee, the ball game. It's a real radio and it works great. Could I build one too? Sure. Remco makes it real easy. All you have to do is put together all the parts that come in the Remco kit. The transistor, the tuner, and a separate loudspeaker for broadcasting. Can you do your own broadcasting too? Yeah, sure. I'll do the announcing with this microphone while you work the radio. This is radio station REMCO, Remco, the do-it-yourself radio station. Oh, boy, we're radio engineers.
Fellows, get your Remco radio at your favorite toy store. From $3.95 to $9.95, every boy wants a Remco toy.
Smacking Off invites you to join us on the podcast. If you have an opinion on an upcoming game, some commentary on your conference, or want to roll with one of your fellow smackers on air, hit us up. You can message us at the Smacking Off or X's and O's Facebook pages, email me at maddenshannon@toothfairy.com, or call us on the Smack line, 304-508-BAIT. And as always, fuck your team.
Yes, I'm ready.
And welcome back to Smacking Off the Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. Doug, what's up?
Not much.
We got some Shannon Russell and Dane Kelley up in our ears. What's up, guys and gals?
Hey.
Hi.
I'm sick as shit, guys. So
what are you sick with? What do you have? What's your disease?
I don't know. It feels like the flu. Maybe a sinus infection. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, cry me a river, bitch.
Well,
shit.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to break down these Heisman people. I mean, what is this like? This is 1/3 of the season?
Yes.
We're at the third mark. Okay, so we're going to go over these people. We're going to go over Justin Fields. We're going to go over that one guy from LSU. I forgot his name. We're going to go over Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, he's been in Alabama for 10 years.
Hey, shut your mouth! I ain't talking about fucking Joey Lawrence over there.
And the dude from Clemson.
Yeah.
Who y'all want to talk about first?
Joey Lawrence. Let's talk about Joey Lawrence, the actor.
I'm just here to talk about Travis Etienne. I don't know this Lawrence fella. Never heard of him.
Travis got some numbers.
He dropped down in the race.
Yeah, he dropped way down in the race.
Tell me this.
He's like out of a lot of people's top 5.
I have to ask this. Who has watched Ohio State thus far?
Yeah, I've watched.
I haven't watched those bums, not for 1 second.
Well, have you seen Justin Fields' numbers?
Yeah, I don't look at stats.
You're not impressed?
Those are meaningless. No, I just haven't looked at him. I don't look at them.
He's passed for 880 yards. He's got 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
That's pretty
which
good.
is less interceptions than that one guy from Clemson.
Yes.
But anyway, 92.5 QBR, which is 4th in the country. So
this sounds very similar to a quarterback. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shannon.
No, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
This sounds very similar to a quarterback who lost in the national championship game last year.
Well,
yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Yeah, his wide receiver.
What are you talking about?
Running backs help him out a lot. That's why his to me his total yards isn't very good, but he obviously has a lot of touchdowns. So it sounds like he's got a good O line, you know.
So
he's got so much of his skills himself, but I could be wrong.
I mean, you know, I don't know, whatever.
I mean, these are definitely Heisman-worthy numbers. I mean, at this point of the season. And I'm talking about Justin Fields.
But his dropped. He was in 3rd as far as the QBR because Burrow was 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And I think last week he became 4th and Burrow became 3rd. You know, I'm watching it, so.
It's got to be all them crappy defenses that LSU's playing.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, where was if you'll remember the Heisman race last year, where was Kyler Murray at that point? At this point in the Heisman race,
like 12th or 13th.
Not very high.
I know. I already know he was way down there. So what?
So okay.
All right, we won't jump up. Let's just.
Yeah, but everybody thought Tua was going to get it last year, and he was at the top. So you just never know.
Well, let's talk about somebody with some comparable numbers to Justin Field in a couple regards.
Let's just go ahead and jump to the number 1 QBR quarterback in the country right now, and that is and that's Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. And are the yards that we're showing right now? Is that just the yardage for? That's just the yardage for
not
throwing.
Running. That's not running.
Passing,
That's
right.
yeah. So and he's also put up a sizable amount of yards running as well. So
okay, can I comment on that just for a minute?
You may
go right ahead.
Look, I'm being honest. I know I talk a lot of smack in the group. I drive y'all crazy, but I'm being sincere when I say this. I like Jalen. I like Tua. You know, I have respect for both of them. However, I did feel like Jalen got the shaft in the 2017, season to the 18 national championship last year because he got your team there. You know,
I don't think he got the shaft there. I think he got the shaft last year. I think he got in 17. No, you got to go. Listen, you have to go.
The shaft.
Listen.
Okay. So he got the shaft.
No,
so.
Listen. I'm not arguing with you.
This is an LSU fan talking to Bama fan.
Listen.
So of course this is going to be how that conversation.
I know,
goes.
but I want you to hear. I want you to hear me out.
That has nothing to do with that. Take that off the table for a minute.
I want you to hear.
It does.
I want you to hear me out.
Everything to do with that.
He didn't get the shaft in 17, and I'm going to tell you why. There's no way Alabama comes close to winning this game, winning the game against Georgia if they don't change quarterbacks. He didn't get the shaft.
Well, okay, I understand that, and that's exactly what Saban did. I get that because y'all had what 0 at halftime.
Right.
But Saban threw some money out there in the refs' pockets at halftime.
Lord.
But anyway, that's another. We'll do that on the conspiracy.
It was what 29-0. We beat LSU last year at home. I can't remember. The numbers all get kind of fuzzy.
Jalen has a good attitude. But Jalen is a good quarterback, I think.
Yeah, but Tua was the one that did those 29 points against LSU, though, right?
Well, yeah. And I'm not
don't know if Jalen would have put that up. Not with the way that we run things.
In the SEC championship? Who had it bailing out in the SEC championship?
Let me finish.
Okay.
Shannon, let me finish.
All right. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
All right. So anyway, he did. I don't think he got the shaft in 17, but let me finish. He did get the shaft in 18, and this is why. Now, I'm not saying that Jalen would have made a difference against Clemson. I think the same thing would have happened, but
yes.
But Mr. Saban owed it to Jalen to put him in the second half, at the start of the second half, because Tua wasn't getting the job done.
And he didn't do it.
He owed it to him, and you know what he did? He put him in the fourth quarter when there was no fucking way that there was any way. There was no way Alabama could come back.
Right.
So, yeah, I definitely agree, but I don't think that he necessarily did him wrong in 17 because the team needed to change.
I'm not saying Saban. I'm saying I feel like as a whole, the news media and everything, it was all Tua, and he's a god, and he's going to Heisman next year. And I get it. That's the way it goes. I mean, and I know they're doing that to Burrow now. It's a little overhyped, I'll admit. But
yeah, there's a lot of information missing from this. Hurts kind of put himself in that position too, particularly with his dad going on social media. But we can have that discussion during the off season because it'll eat up a lot of time if we get off into that rabbit hole. So,
but the last thing I'll say about Jalen though is I think he's a good, he's good at running the ball. I think more than passing. He's a good quarterback for college. He's not really a pro style NFL quarterback. Nothing. That's not.
I don't know. He's airing it out this year. Now it's gonna as the defenses get a little bit better as the season progresses. I don't think they faced any kind of really like true defensive test.
They're not going to within the conference.
We're also talking about an Oklahoma team that gave up 31 points to a mediocre Houston team. So that's we're also seeing a lot of the same from I mean, I'm sorry, but their schedule has been rather soft up until now. I'm waiting to see what happens in the Texas game and what happens against a slightly improved Oklahoma State. I mean, there's a lot of football left to play as far as that goes. Now,
absolutely.
Having said that, though, Jalen Hurts has put up some tremendous all-purpose yards, and his passing totals alone equals the quarterback we were just talking about.
Well, I'll say this, and then I'll
Justin
shut up about Jalen. I feel like this is my take on it. I could be wrong. If he does well with Oklahoma, if he takes Oklahoma far, I think that will put him in a good position toward the end of the season with the Heisman, because they're going to look at it like, here he did a great thing in Alabama, and he did a great thing at Oklahoma. He deserves it. And you know what? I'd have to agree with that if I'm being honest.
And I'll tell you what, if you're Oklahoma, now somebody had said when he came there, and I was talking to an Oklahoma fan, and it was like, well, we've had Baker Mayfield, we've had
the last two Heisman.
Right, exactly. So what is Jalen going to bring that those guys didn't bring? And I said, national championship game experience.
Yeah, and that right there down the stretch is huge. That guy that can keep his cool and control, pretty much control all aspect of what's going on in the field on the offense. That's Jalen Hurts. He's got more experience than anybody else at the moment.
Real quick, before we turn this into a quarterback show, we got to talk about this guy for a second. Now, I don't know who's watched Wisconsin. This is the best Wisconsin. This is the best Wisconsin team I've ever seen.
What's his name? Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor.
He's got 58 attempts, 440 yards, 7 touchdowns.
He's climbing the charts.
Almost 7.5 yards a carry.
Yeah, that's just.
But what about Anthony?
That's some Travis Etienne. Right there.
What were you saying, Shannon?
Anthony Gordon.
Who's Anthony Gordon?
We quarterback from Washington State.
Oh yeah.
Where you been?
Oh yeah. I didn't make a graphic for that because, quite frankly, I'd made too many already.
But he's a dark horse in this. I promise.
This is true. He has snuck up in some of the for ESPN, for example, he snuck up like in number 8 or something like that. So folks are starting to take
yards by a long shot. He's beating Burrow by like 200-300 yards. Some of them were.
But he plays in an air raid offense.
Yeah, and he threw for 9 yards in that loss last week.
And 9 touchdowns.
Or 9 touchdowns in the loss last weekend. And that's just that's insane. So I don't know. We'll have to see where that goes. I do. We all know that the Heisman is a beauty contest. And particularly down toward the end.
And it's primarily a quarterback award lately. There's not a lot of running backs that are winning it, but
no, not since the Herschel Walker days.
Look at
Can I ask you guys something?
You can.
What is the Heisman Trophy to you? Like, what should it be? What is it? The best player on the best team? Is it?
It's the player that brings their team so far.
I think
it's the player that does so far, brings their team so far that they would not have been able to achieve without that player. Whether it be, that's like Johnny Manziel.
But lately, I think
if that is the standard, then no player on Clemson's team should even be mentioned in this conversation. So let's just toss them out because we have
think
the
a lot
best
of times
team. And I don't.
As a whole, yes.
I think a lot of times it ends up being the best player from the best team, though. Lately.
Yeah, and that really has been. Well, I will say this, and we've kind of all danced around this one huge fact. When was the last time that you could think, if ever, that you've had a single head coach of one program deliver 3 Heisman Trophy winners in a row in 3 consecutive years? Has that ever happened?
No, but it could this year.
No, 2 back-to-back, obviously, but never. I don't think ever 3.
No, it's never happened.
And usually the back-to-back is usually the same player. Am I right about that? I mean, even back-to-back with different players. Now, back-to-back years with different players and the same team, coming from the same team and the same head coach, I don't think that's even been done before, has it?
Yeah,
2 different players?
I think there's been like 2 players. That
Archie Griffin won it back-to-back, I think.
I think Alabama threatened to do it. Didn't they threaten to do it the year after Ingram? Or no, I'm thinking of the year following with Henry.
To go 2 back-to-back with 2 different players?
Well, yeah, wasn't there, or just it may have been a nomination.
Yeah, I don't know if any teams ever won back-to-back. It's possible back with the Army and stuff. It's possible. I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about
Trevor
Lawrence.
one Clemson player, irregardless whether you want to or not. Trevor Lawrence, who was definitely in the early Heisman conversation, has fizzled as of late, primarily because of that INT number right there. 5 interceptions.
Right, he's had a lot of interceptions. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Have you watched the games?
I have not watched a complete Clemson game. But I did watch a lot of the Georgia.
I mean,
game.
if you watch the games, the kid still looks spectacular when he needs to be spectacular.
He's thrown for 925 yards.
His numbers are trash, but I mean,
they're not trash.
Like for this,
other than
this
the
past
interceptions,
weekend,
he's got
for
some
instance.
decent numbers. I mean, his quarterback ranking is still in the top 12. He's thrown for 7 touchdowns. He's got 925 yards. But that interception, no, that's the killer. That's the deal breaker right there.
Right, but the reason I say stats really shouldn't come into it, especially this early in the season, if you look at this past weekend, he only threw for 94 yards. And the reason that he only threw for 94 yards is because he only played essentially for 1 quarter.
Right.
And then the game was already out of reach, and Clemson, I think we ended up playing 5 quarterbacks last weekend. So, I mean, I don't really get with the whole stat deal. If you watch the games, I mean, 2 of those 5 interceptions were tip drills. 1 of the 5, he was trying to throw the ball away.
I don't think that anybody's trying to paint, Trevor Lawrence as a bad quarterback in any stretch of the imagination.
No.
He's just, we're talking about the
I kind of hope that they
cream
do.
of the crop.
I like him being underestimated.
Well, and that right there is something that will help win games down the stretch when it matters the most. But I can assure you, if Alabama and Clemson get the chance to meet again this year, they will be better prepared for that sort of thing. See that INT number?
All right.
I don't know.
All right, now here's a fella that's got a few INTs, just a couple.
Oh gosh.
Joe
Bureau. Motherfucking Bureau. Joe Burrow leads the country with a ginormous 1,500 yards in a mere 4 games.
15-20
if we're being
And he
specific
has not
about
played
it.
but 1 full game, since y'all love to say Tua only played half a game.
No,
Just
I didn't
shut
say.
the fuck up.
I didn't say shit.
Go ahead and take the win and just shut the fuck up about it. He's thrown for 17 touchdowns. That is just an outrageous number for 4 games.
Yeah.
And a QBR of 93.2, which puts him 3rd in the country. He's only thrown 2 interceptions. Not bad. Still very respectable, particularly when you're looking at touchdown to interception ratio. Damn. Yeah.
And guess what?
balling.
LSU's also number 1 in the red zone. What?
LSU,
This smells like
LSU ain't number 1 nowhere.
Well,
Trust me on that.
guys.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat of a subject matter expert on this, and I'm telling you, NCAA needs to sniff around Baton Rouge.
They're headed that way. Trust me, as long as
This
Phil
smells like PEDs. East, baby.
Okay.
As
whatever.
long as Phil Fulmer is in the SEC, trust me, LSU is being investigated. Bet your motherfucking ass.
Yeah, and Bama's
Good.
Bama's high. That's funny.
You want to talk about a player hater?
Yeah, hey, look, y'all the ones had to cheat on Vandy and had to vacate them wins. I don't care.
I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking about. What year was that?
Cheating against Vandy. Yeah.
What year was that?
That was the year we had to vacate the wins.
Is that when we were? Is that when we were fighting that war?
Yeah.
I wasn't even here.
Yeah.
We were in the war.
Yeah. They're just they're a fucking medical college. I mean, they were supposed to. We don't have to cheat against them ever.
All right, so
Let's see, that was a year. That was just a couple of years that LSU was doing
Speaking
well.
of Vandy, I'm glad that the LSU fan brought up Vandy. How in the fuck?
This is the
You
Heisman
give up
conversation.
38 points
to Vanderbilt.
To Vanderbilt this year in 2019 to give up
Okay,
40
look, guys,
points
y'all
to
know
Vanderbilt.
football.
That's
I'm not
fucking
saying-
horrible.
I'm not going to make excuses, but y'all know football. Come on.
Yeah, we do. That's why we're bringing it up. That's
No,
horrible.
let me
That is the
just make one comment.
bad look.
Okay, it is, but listen to me. When you put 66 on a team, points, I mean, come on. First of all, y'all know how this works. When your defense is on the field, I mean, you even look at the numbers as far as that. This is where the numbers do matter. I think we're executing plays on offense within 20 seconds.
But how do you give up 38 points to Vanderbilt?
I'm not saying that we don't have on our defense, but when you're executing plays so fast on offense, and then they get the ball and they take forever to go down the field, and your defense is having to, I mean, it wears them out. And I'll be honest.
I can't relate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we also had 6 starters out on defense. I'm not making excuses. You're asking the question.
We put 6.
That was
in
actually
the
an
NFL.
excuse. Is what that
We also Devin White to the NFL, and we lost Rudy Williams. So I know
We gave up 3 defensive linemen in the first round.
Okay, is that why y'all lost to Syracuse 2 years ago?
I mean,
I
we're
don't
talking
know.
about
I
2 years
mean,
ago. I thought we were talking about this year. This is 2019,
I thought we were talking
right?
about 20. My bad.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying it happens. It happens.
We're traveling into the past to have a
I'm not happy
conversation
about it,
about
we
some
definitely
shit
could
2
do
years
something.
ago here with Shannon Russell.
Well,
Fucking what was the guy from Back to the Future? Doc. Remember what was Doc's name?
Doc Brown.
Doc Brown. Yeah.
Dr. Emmett Brown.
Shannon Russell over here with Shannon Russell over here with her DeLorean. Come on, y'all, let's hop in.
I'm gonna run y'all over on my DeLorean.
I'm gonna set this for 2 years. Hang on, let me push the buttons. 2 years ago, when Syracuse lost to Clemson, go! And then you hit 88 miles an hour, and bam, there you are.
In 44 seconds.
Oh, wow.
44.
This conversation's taking a dark turn. Can we talk about the man now?
We can.
Yes, go back to Burrow, please. I love talking about him.
Tua Tagovailoa.
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 Tua Travolta. Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome. He's the man.
Yes.
It's not Tungabaloa, it's Tagovailoa.
Yeah, whatever.
No, it's
Tonga.
Yeah, it's Tonga.
It's Tonga. Why are you even worried about? You need to keep his name out of your
His
corn
first
dog
name
mouth.
is it starts with a Tonga. Tua's for sure. His last name is Tagovailoa.
There's an N in there that's not in the
Yeah,
spelling.
exactly.
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna start calling him Joe in it and putting quotation marks. Will
His first
Farrell.
name has got like 28, 35 something numbers or letters. I mean, 44 letters.
He's also got 1,300 yards passing in 4 games. He has 17 motherfucking touchdowns with not a nary interception. QBR is 96.3.
That sounds even better
Second
than Burrow.
in the country.
Only to his backup from last year.
Joe has 17. Only difference is Joe's got 2 interceptions. Joe's got more yards.
Yeah.
And hasn't played that much more.
Well, I don't know. Northwestern State, they're like 111th out of the FCS.
Northwestern Louisiana State.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many letters there.
Hey, listen, they are 111th out of the FCS schools.
Yeah.
Which is the lower division.
Yeah.
Oh, now y'all want to talk about ranks.
I think that's.
no,
I
yeah.
think it's important because
I mean, it's a bad team. You got to admit.
when you start talking about such gaudy statistics, you have to start splitting hairs, and
You do.
that's what the Heisman Committee's going to.
Y'all are out here. Y'all really are splitting hairs, the both of you.
Yeah.
You're talking about, well, Joe Burrow hadn't played that much more. What the hell does that even
Fucking Trevor Lawrence only has 5 interceptions.
Because they.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence only has to play a quarter, and we scored 52 fucking points.
Well, I mean,
Come on,
true.
guys.
Yeah.
Y'all need to get on our level.
Yeah. So
We're
you're saying
we're
that
coming, Shane.
Tua needs to throw some
Dane.
more interceptions? Is that what you're telling me?
Wow.
You said it, not me.
I am not even entertaining this.
I mean, I thought it was entertaining.
I'd like
in and
to
of itself.
point out, though, that last year Trevor threw 4 interceptions. He's got 5 this year, but the last 10 games that he played last season, he didn't throw an interception. So he's right on track with what he needs to be doing. It's all a part of the process.
Don't you pull that shit, motherfucker. Not on my show.
Y'all
you
need to
won't.
respect
Not
the
on my
process.
show. You won't. Get thee behind me, Satan.
We got a couple questions from people listening. Shannon Russell, one question directly for you. When is Shannon Russell going to bring up Billy Cannon? Is what Sean Devine wants to know.
When I'm gonna what? Bring up.
When are you
Billy
going to bring up Billy Cannon?
Yeah.
Our only Heisman winner.
Yeah. You're not going to bring him up, are you?
You can go and talk about him. This is a safe
Did you make
place.
a little holograph for him?
I mean, since we're traveling back into time,
And
we
we're
might as well
talking
go
about
ahead.
Heismans, too, so.
And we might as well do it. Yeah.
Y'all are so nice. Like Alabama's full of them. Really?
Clemson's never had one.
Wow.
Oh, there was a point when before Saban had gotten Alabama where Alabama had never had one.
Yeah, this is true.
And I did. It doesn't really bother me if Alabama never wins another one because it's like, what was it that Timothy said he would trade? He said he would trade a Heisman for a national championship.
Oh, I would in a heartbeat.
But he
too.
said I wouldn't trade 2 Heismans for a national championship.
Yeah.
Oh, I would. I would trade
50.
5 for a national championship.
I would trade 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not really a team award. So
yeah, I mean, when we start talking about the greatest teams that are in the game at the moment, yeah, that's never Heisman Trophy winners are never in that conversation ever. So there's that, along with every other individual player award.
Well, I don't have any Heismans to trade for any national championship.
You just want that. You
But
just
I'll
want that
tell
hardware.
you, I will take a national championship over a Heisman any day of the week.
And I think most fans would, if
Especially
you're really true
on
to
a
your
Monday
team.
in January.
If you're true to your team, which a lot of the people, I think nearly every single person that we've had on would probably agree with that. Because if you're really, really pulling for your team, it's all about what you're able to accomplish as a team, and not as individuals.
Oh, and you know what? I just remembered something.
All right.
Remembered something. To answer y'all's question, I believe I'm correct on this. Herschel Walker from Georgia, I think, was the only player that's been nominated all 3 years and then won. I think he holds that record.
But see, that's the same
Don't-
player,
don't,
though.
Don't quote me on that, but I believe that I'm
Yeah.
correct on that.
Well,
and he's a running back.
What I'm talking about, though, is the same team, the same coach, but 3, or in this case, we already have 2 confirmed winners.
More than one player?
And a possible 3rd winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, a different player every year consecutively. I don't think that's ever happened. I don't think.
I don't think it had ever.
I don't think it's happened just I don't think it's happened the 2 times that it's already happened.
Actually, I think Army might have did it.
But but how long ago would that have been?
It was back in the 40s.
Yeah, certainly not in the modern era.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna look at that because that right there is. I mean, whatever your feelings are about the Oklahoma program or Oklahoma fans, yada yada, this, that, and the other bullshit. For a head coach to produce 2 different Heisman Trophy winners, 2 consecutive years in a row. That's a big deal. For him to do it 3 years in a row, man, there's something really going on up there in Oklahoma, up in Norman, Oklahoma right now with Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, and you know what? He just became their coach. The first year he did that with Mayfield, right?
Yeah, and again, you have to kind of give him that one because that was partly his responsibility because he was on the coaching staff under Bob Stoops. But yeah, you're right. That was Bob Stoops' recruit. He was the one that ultimately developed that player. But look, Jalen Hurts. We saw what he did at Alabama. We saw the kind of the stumbles and the mishaps that we had. The eventual takeover from Tua, he had that one last hurrah, which really was an illustration for the folks in the portal to get excited about what was coming. I think that discussion took place shortly before the spring game, or shortly after the spring game, because in the spring game of 2018, Jalen Hurts looked like absolute dog shit. Tua was out hurt. was in a sling. They put Jalen in the starting position, and he just looked like dog shit. He looked like he did not want to be there at all. He was humiliated in front of the Alabama faithful and the local media. So they kind of took him out. And look, hey, if you want to go ahead and transfer now, be our guest. Your career looks like pretty much like dog shit. You talk shit about the team. What do you want to do? Do you want to stay and develop your game a little bit? And I think that's exactly what we're seeing. His passing game is truly elevated to the next level. And I think it was because that last year at Alabama that he back kind of ate a little piece of the humble pie. Backed up Tua, worked with the same staff and the same OC, the same quarterbacks coaches, and Tua himself to develop his passing game to a point where he could make a difference somewhere else. Because Tua had cemented the starting job, like it or not, and whether we agree or disagree as to whether he got fucked or not, he kind of had a large hand in that, and his dad had a large hand in that too. But whatever.
Well, guys, this was a great segment.
It was.
And
I enjoyed this.
We've got President Pike coming on next, and he's probably drunk by now. So, but do we take a commercial or we just run?
Let's take a quick commercial real quick. But Dane and Shannon, we really appreciate y'all coming on. You're always welcome on.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
This week's Life Championship Top 10 is brought to you by Bad Month Tires. Cuz who the fuck can afford Goodyear? Those fuckers are expensive as shit. And also by Dr. Thunder, not nearly as good as Dr. Pepper, but a whole hell of a lot cheaper. And now, our champions of Life Countdown.
Number 10, the Stanford Cardinal. Number 9, the Texas Christian Horned Frogs. Number 8, the Utah Utes. Number 7, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Number 6, the Tennessee Volunteers. Number 5, falling all the way from last week's number 1 spot, the Florida Gators. Number 4, the Texas A&M Aggies. Number 3, the Florida State Seminoles. Number 2, the Michigan Wolverines. And the new numero 1 for week 5, the creme of the Power 6, the UCF Knights.
I'm ready.
All right, that's what we wanted to know. Welcome back to Smacking Off the Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, President Pike with Pike's Predictions.
I'm live in Washington, D.C. tonight.
Woohoo, nation's capital.
From
What's
the
going on in the
capital
D.C.?
I'm doing better. If Green Bay goes out to a 10-0 lead, I have Green Bay -3, and they're now down 23-13. 59 seconds to go. Aaron Rodgers got the ball. Not looking too good. Not looking good.
How much you stand to lose on this one?
Late 260 to win 200.
Ouch.
But I hit last week. That's why I wanted to do these Pike predictions. There's a game I really like in the NFL. Everybody's going to think I'm fucking crazy. I like the Buffalo Bills +7 at home against the New England Patriots.
That's the President Pike lock of the week.
That's the lock of the week. Buffalo +7. And everybody's going to think I'm fucking crazy because, New England's this, New England's that. Guess what? You're going to fucking Buffalo. And that team plays really good fucking defense, and they have a really good offensive line. And Josh Allen ain't turned the ball over none this year, hardly.
This is cool. So you're going to be doing pro games when you do this Pike's predictions.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, I know y'all like that college shit. But you know what that damn Landon Beamham? He gave me that fucking Texas A&M. He goes, Auburn, there's no way they win in College Station. They take them on the money line. And actually I made a post about it, then all of a sudden that post disappeared. I ain't going to get into that. Compensation. Fake profiles, fake posts.
Are you saying that there is a possible scandal that hashtag fake profiles Landon Beeman has deleted the post?
Possibly. I don't talk to him no more.
Shit.
I don't talk to him anymore.
He did delete it.
He deleted a Justin Pike post because I seen it.
Yeah, I blocked
He
him
really
on
did.
Messenger.
Oh my God! You didn't even tell me about this. Holy shit!
Yeah,
This is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
But listen, I didn't block him after that game. I blocked him when he said, "Oh, I'm sorry about that pick. Go ahead and take Georgia minus 14." And I was like, "This dumb mother." I didn't do it.
You ain't really blocked him, have you?
Look at it. Look at it. And everybody's like, "Oh, you blocked your own profile. Kiss my fucking ass." Hey, these stupid damn embarrassing man. I swear.
This is unsettling. I don't know how to feel about any of this. How are you going to be able to do this without #fake profiles? I mean, that was a big part of what you had going on.
I've been doing it for 6 years now.
Swinging your dick around like a helicopter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I did it with him, did it without him.
I can't believe this. We got to talk to Landon about this.
I got to ask you a question. Do y'all know what the line is? I haven't looked at college. I'm kind of unprepared. I got a big furniture sale going on this weekend. We're going to do $1 million in one day on Saturday. It's the biggest furniture sale on the East Coast.
It's the $1 million liquidation sale.
$1 million. And then guess what, guys? I'm the best damn salesperson on that fucking.
You know, I've actually
we
heard
knew this already. You have us sold already. I want some furniture, even though I do not live anywhere close to the area.
I'm a fucking beast
Do
guy.
y'all deliver? Do you deliver to Birmingham, Alabama?
I'm really straight up. If they look at me and say they're looking for a lamp, that's the last thing we're going to say to each other.
Yeah, that's it, because they're buying that fucking lamp.
I go for the big fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They don't need no lamp. They need a dining room table and a complete new living room suite.
This 18-year-old kid comes in this morning, about 10:30, says, I just got my own apartment. Oh, okay, cool. I've been shopping around other stores. Cool. Okay. Look around a little bit. I'll catch up with you in a couple minutes. I go over there, pretty much grab him by the fucking throat. How much you want to spend? I want to spend $5,000. Okay, well, I'll get you $4,700 out the door.
Yeah, and you can spend $300 on drugs.
Bam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then he's got $300 to spend on drugs, like Madden said.
Yeah, $300 to spend on whatever the fuck. I said, dude, I know you had to pay your security deposit. You know, Shannon, you're from Alexandria. It's fucking shit up here is kind of damn expensive.
I know if I got $300 for hookers and blow, I'm getting a blow job and an 8-ball.
0% financing for 5 years. No money down.
You can't beat this deal, y'all.
Yeah, you want to make a deal, you make a deal.
Okay, so you wanted to know the line for what game?
What is the line? Georgia, Tennessee this week, ain't it?
No, that's next week.
What? Okay. Georgia's off, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Tennessee. What's the big SEC game this week?
Ole Miss at Alabama.
Yeah, Ole Miss and Alabama is probably the big.
It's 38, ain't it?
It may be. I have not looked.
Jesus Christ, is
Bet the fucking house on Ole Miss. They're gonna play them tough.
I think you're right. Hey, they played Cal
tough. People don't think
tough.
that's a robbery. People don't think that's a robbery, but with Chad Kelley and Bo Wallace, they made that a robbery. And Alabama might downplay it a little bit. Still a robbery. Alabama will win by 24. Ole Miss covers that. It's in the 30s. The spread's in the 30s.
Interesting.
They ain't South Carolina. Hell, they only beat South Carolina by what, 24?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in Alabama, and I'll tell you, and people get mad and they think I'm trolling. I ain't trolling. Alabama ain't played nobody, guys.
I'm seeing 30. I'm seeing 34.5 on that one, but yeah,
well, 34.5, whatever it is. But it's 38. It's 30. I'm pretty sure it's 38.
Well, I'm seeing it's kind of going up and down. I'm seeing the line move just a little bit, 4.5, 5 points, somewhere in that neighborhood.
If you think Ole Miss gonna lose that game by 40, you ought to get your damn head examined.
Yeah, you're right.
They ain't gonna lose that game by fucking 40. Hell, if they can't beat South Carolina, if Ole Miss played South Carolina tomorrow, Ole Miss will beat them straight up. So how the hell? They're at the Grove, right?
Hold on now. Beeman says Alabama by 50.
Yeah. He also said Texas A&M, and he also said Georgia by 20. You know what I mean? So if I tell you anything, go the fucking other way.
All right, we're now joined by Landon
Beeman, #fake profiles. What's going on, Landon?
Hey, Landon, defend yourself.
No, I'm just kidding. He's not here.
No, I was gonna say, God, you better fucking tease it.
We know this is a phony fight. Come on now.
Yeah, there's no way that you are mad at your ride or die bro, Landon Beeman, #fake profiles.
Well, with my ride or die bro, I mean, Landon, if you came up here and took $500, or Shannon, Doug, say y'all came up here and like, Pike, take this. This is good. This is good. I don't really follow it. I told y'all a couple weeks. I don't follow the SEC like that. You know what I mean?
So you were depending on the word of Landon Beeman.
Yeah, that was your inside source.
I'm a DC sports fan. I don't be fucking with that shit.
Well, I mean,
I don't be following that fucking hillbilly fucking, fucking parade, whatever the fuck they have down there. I don't follow the fucking. I ain't got time for it. I'm selling furniture. I'm living lifestyle and rich and famous.
Hashtag lifestyles on the rich and famous.
I ain't got fucking time what's going on in fucking Mississippi and Alabama. Fucking busy life.
All right, so next week we'll have the Beeman Pike reunion.
I think we should.
Go ahead and put him on here. Go ahead and put him on here. There's a lot I got fucking.
I can't get him on here now, but we're definitely working on it.
Yeah, we got it. We have to get this segment together
I'm
because
telling exactly what the fuck I think.
I feel horrible too because I mean this is like I mean it's like if you broke up Fred Sanford and Lamont. You just can't have one without the other.
It happened and it wasn't very
good.
Work.
And it didn't work.
Sonny and Cher. Sonny hit the fucking tree, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Cher hits the. Cher was in that movie with that guy that had the face.
You know what I mean?
Mask.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston fucking OD. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, goddamn.
All right, Pike. Man, I think this is gonna be a fun. We're gonna do it at this time every week.
Hey, Buffalo +7. Everybody's gonna think I'm fucking crazy. Take the fucking.
That's your President Pike lock of the week.
Hey, Pike.
And they might fuck around and win the game. The money line is +325. So a lot of you hillbillies listening, that means you can lay $100 to win $325.
I have a question, Mr. President.
And go buy some furniture from President Pike with all that extra money.
Mr. President, do you want to do this at 10 till 10 your time?
Thursday.
Every Thursday.
I got real drunk. I got a big sale coming up at the furniture store. I'm real drunk, but I'm gonna figure it out.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week then.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Pike, we appreciate it, man.
Love all my fans. Thank y'all.
Take care, man.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Is there anything else to say here, or do we?
I think that was it. That was a wonderful show. We'd like to thank all that participated, and your checks are in the mail.
Absolutely.
Find Smacking Off the podcast on Facebook and on YouTube.
Tune in to Smacking Off the podcast every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Fuck each and every motherfucker who doesn't.